Jade Cargill is now a little bit over 390 days into her current and only TBS championship reign. And ever since she won it back in January of last year, 2022, well, she's been the only champion. She's had no challengers. Nobody's been able to defeat her. Nobody's even come close to defeating her. Not in reality. There's been some close falls. Absolutely, you need those in any kinds of matches to build up the drama, to actually keep fans on the edge of their seat. But over the past year, ever since Jade made her debut for AEW, you've never truly felt that she could be defeated. You never really saw anyone on the roster, currently on the AEW women's roster, that could defeat Jade Cargill. And there's a reason for that. And the reason is very simple, and that's because Tony Khan, the current owner and booker, amongst other things, of All Elite Wrestling, has decided to hitch his horse in terms of the women's division onto Jade. Not only that, Tony Khan has actually been more supportive and more persistent, rather, to having Jade Cargill lead the AEW women's division towards the future more than Britt Baker. A lot of fans on social media really like to point out that Tony Khan favors Britt Baker, but they don't seem to notice that Jade Cargill has been not only AEW TBS champion, the first and only and current and undefeated TBS champion, but she's currently on a streak that has over 50 wins at this point, no losses, no draws, and every time that she shows up on Dynamite or on pay-per-view or on Rampage, the focal point of the show is her, pretty much. When it, you can tell that from the minute that she shows up on TV. She exudes charisma. She exudes star power. She is the face, the de facto face of the current AEW women's division, and the fact is that she's holding the mid-card title for the women's division in AEW. So the question now that every single fan out there is asking themselves is, what happens when Jade Cargill has to lose the TBS championship? What happens when Jade Cargill has to lose at all? Who is Tony Khan going to pick to break Jade's undefeated streak? And the fact of the matter is, a lot of people have been pointing towards signing Mercedes Moné, the former Sasha Banks, to an AEW contract, having her debut in AEW, and immediately go up in a feud against Jade, and then take the title off of Jade. Because that would be money right there. I'm not saying it wouldn't be. All I'm saying is, at least this is my point of view, it's the same mistake that TNA Wrestling did or made in 2006 when they had an undefeated, unstoppable, he wasn't a babyface, he wasn't a heel, he was just a Samoan submission machine in Samoa Joe. You had him perfectly lined up to be the next, at the time, NWA World Heavyweight Champion. And the minute TNA Wrestling signed Kurt Angle, they put one and one together, and the obvious result happened. A major star like Kurt Angle is not going to have his debut match in TNA Wrestling be a loss. Doesn't matter against who. You don't have a major force like Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, debut and lose. Not even to Samoa Joe. And that hurt Samoa Joe. That pushed Samoa Joe's world title reign almost 18 months. He didn't become TNA World Heavyweight Champion until April of 2008 at Lockdown against Kurt Angle. So now, in the future, well, not the future, in the present, I'm hoping AEW doesn't do the exact same thing. As a matter of fact, bring in Mercedes Moné to AEW. Bring her in. She is a star. She will bring the eyes. She will bring the dollars. She will bring the market value that AEW needs every single day of the week. Have her beat Jamie Hayter. Jamie Hayter is on a fantastic run. But a loss to Mercedes Moné won't hurt her because she's not undefeated. Now, she is the Women's World Champion. She's been a great champion so far. I don't think it's going to end anytime soon. But what I am trying to plan, if I'm booking AEW right now, what I'm trying to plan is bring in Mercedes Moné. She beats Jamie Hayter for the title. She beats Britt Baker. She beats Ruby Soho. She beats a Chris Statlander, a returning Chris Statlander. She beats anybody she has to beat to the point that sometime down the line, Mercedes Moné has been such a dominant champion with the Women's World title, and Jade Cargill has been able to just run through the entire competition and still TBS champion, still undefeated. You put those one on one, you put those two women together, and then you have Jade beat Mercedes Moné. And at that point, you already have a superstar Jade that you know is a superstar today, but having her beat Mercedes Moné after all is said and done, after all that they've both been through, that doesn't hurt Mercedes Moné because she is Mercedes Moné. But now you've created a bona fide blockbuster name in Jade Cargill by having her defeat Mercedes Moné, unifying the titles, but then Jade has to relinquish the TBS championship, and therefore she is the mid-card champion that never lost her title. She won the big one, had to relinquish the mid-card championship, and now she is running the entire division by being Women's World Champion. And at that point, down the future, you put the top world title in the women's division on the line. You put her undefeated streak on the line, and you put Jade's stardom on the line. Not to that much of a degree, but either way, you're creating a brand new star rather than feeding the star, the horse that you're building, towards a star that already exists. That isn't out of the question in Mercedes Moné. So if I'm booking AEW right now, that's what I'm doing. I'm not sacrificing Jade Cargill's current TBS title reign or her undefeated streak for a star that's already been made in Mercedes Moné, formerly Sasha Banks. So I believe that is the only way possible for Jade to lose the title, the only right way, at least in my opinion, to keep her on the role that she's been on over the past year and a half. But, who knows what's going to happen? Tony Khan might decide otherwise. Who am I? I'm just a humble fan giving out his opinion on what might transpire for the women's division coming into the future. But all I'm saying is, you got a star in Jade Cargill. Really keep pushing forward with her. You got a good thing going. Don't ruin it. But, like I said, that's my opinion. If you have a different one, if you have a different scenario on how to take the title off of Jade Cargill or how to handle Mercedes Moné's possible AEW debut, leave it in the comment section below. I'm Alexis Carrillo, and it's Wednesday night, so go ahead and enjoy tonight's episode of Dynamite. See ya.